Welcome back, everyone, of the Los Angeles Chargers franchise here on Madden 18, as this is going to be the series finale. Last episode, we took on the Jets in the AFC divisional round and actually got upset 25-44, mainly because of an injury by Mason Conway, the MVP quarterback, and Christian Wilcox couldn't really do anything. So, unfortunately, the Chargers will not have a chance to win back-to-back Super Bowls. So what we're going to do today is we are going to be simulating 10 years, see how much this team has changed or stayed the same, I guess. I will turn everything on automatic, and I will see you guys probably in about 6 hours. Before we go on, you might as well get one final look at the Chargers team. I'm just putting the receivers how I did them when I played. But this is one, obviously Mason Conway would be the starting quarterback. But this is the look at the Chargers roster. And we're going to look at who won this year's Super Bowl, and then see in 10 years. The Super Bowl ended up being the Saints and the Steelers, and what looks like a very close game went to the New Orleans Saints, led by quarterback Tate Peral and running back Melvin Gordon. So Melvin Gordon now has 2 rings. He only had 1 carry. Last year he didn't even play in the Super Bowl because he was injured, which is kind of funny. But the Saints are your Super Bowl champions as they beat Pittsburgh. So I guess the Jets lost in the AFC Championship. The Saints ended up beating the Cardinals in the NFC Championship. I just turned everything on automatic, so I will see you guys in 10 years. So it turns out it wasn't 6 hours, it was only 1 hour. And it looks like LaDainian Tomlinson is still the Chargers head coach, which is really cool. And Spencer Bailey is still on the squad. So is Eric Vasquez. That's pretty cool, but this team kind of sucks. Even though we still got Eric Vasquez, we still got Spencer Bailey. I saw Joey Bosa made the Hall of Fame on like the side thing. So we're going to take a quick look at this team. James Brandstater is still here. Our best 3 players are Spencer Bailey, James Brandstater, and Eric Vasquez. That is pretty cool, but this team is awful. This team sucks. So it looks like those 3 players are the only 3 players who were still on the original team. Yeah, we do have this guy named Travis. He's pretty cool. But Spencer Bailey, he was probably one of my favorite players on this team. Eric Vasquez and James Brandstater are all still here as well as LaDainian Tomlinson. The quarterback is this guy, Glenn Mann. He's entering his 3rd year from Louisville. So we're going to also find some of our former players. I saw Joey Bosa make the Hall of Fame. We'll look for Mason Conway. I'm pretty sure he's probably still in the league. Rashad Pickney, etc. So here's a look at the all-time career stats. Jameis Winston currently has the most passing yards out of all active players. But at number 5, we see Oakland Raiders quarterback Mason Conway. He has gone down from a 95 to an 89. And his development has gone down from superstar to normal. So we had him the first 3 years of his career. It doesn't look like he was an MVP player after that. But the past few years he has been solid. So he's not thrown for more than 5,000 yards after the 2021 season. I don't know when he joined the Raiders or left the Chargers. So it kind of sucks that Mason Conway isn't on the team. I only looked at passing. I want to do all the other stats. The current rushing leader is Donald Collins, who is also on the Oakland Raiders. So Mason Conway and Donald Collins, which is our backfield, are both on the Raiders. Collins went down from like an 85 to an 83, and his development went down from superstar to quick. Other than Donald Collins, I don't know any of these names. Well, there's Marcus Mariota. All-time receiving leader is Thurman Caldrick. He has been on the Packers his whole career, and he is a really good player. All-time receiving yards leader is also Thurman Caldrick. I do not see... Oh, there's Spencer Bailey at about 10,000. I don't see Mike Williams or Rashad Pickney. There's Eric Vasquez, but no sign of Pickney or Williams. I'm guessing they must have retired, that means. All-time touchdown leader for current players is Morgan Golston of the Carolina Panthers. Tackles Tyson Stevens, I know who he is. On the Redskins, Raekwon McMillan, Oscar Spiller. I believe Oscar Spiller was on the Jaguars. Myles Garrett is still in Cleveland. I don't see Leonard Royale, so maybe he retired. Sacks, we see Myles Garrett, Malik McDowell on the Texans, who actually got cut in real life by Seattle. Marquand Bradfield, Thomas Lindsay. Solomon Thomas is on Seattle. Interceptions, Lewis Simpson on the Seahawks now. I believe Simpson was drafted by the Colts. Kicking, I don't know if it saved James Brandstater's stats or not. But now we're going to look at all-time NFL records, see if we see any Chargers. So, in a career, there's Matthew Stafford. Oh, that's passing yards in a game. In a career, Matt Ryan is the all-time record holder for passing yards in a career. Passing touchdowns belongs to Tom Brady. Rushing yards goes to Emmitt Smith. Rushing touchdowns also still belongs to Emmitt Smith. Le'Veon Bell close behind. Receiving yards, Jerry Rice. There's Brandon Cooks at number 2. No sign of Rashad Pinkney anywhere, though, which is a little bit surprising. Catches goes to Jerry Rice. It looks like Brandon Cooks was one of the best wide receivers in NFL history. All-time sack leader, we see Joey Bosa. I am honestly not shocked to see him here. He had like 120 when we ended the series. Interceptions, Paul Krause. No one who we know. Here's a look at the legacy leaderboard, starting with head coach. LaDainian Tomlinson is at number 3. It looks like the Chargers have made 3 Super Bowls, and they've won all 3. We played in one of those Super Bowls, so I guess in the 10-year simulation, the Chargers have won 2 Super Bowls. John Madden is at number 2. Mike Tomlin is at number 1. Tom Brady is the best player in NFL history. Joey Bosa is at number 2. It looks like he was there for all 3 Super Bowls. I would not be surprised if Joey Bosa was on the Chargers of all time. We see Von Miller, J.J. Watt, Robert Kraft. I'm very curious where the first Charger we will see be. Maybe Mason Conway. We don't see Conway. There's Conway at 12,783. He has made 3 Super Bowls, but he's only won 2. So I guess he made a Super Bowl with Oakland and they lost. There's Christian Wilcox right behind him. Would you look at that on the Chicago Bears? So Christian Wilcox is about as accomplished as Mason Conway. That is strange. Kirby Watkins is still on the New York Jets. Elvis Dumervil made the Hall of Fame. It looks like Leonard Worrell is a free agent. We'll have to check free agency because that's probably where a bunch of players will be. Timmy Jernigan made the Hall of Fame. Joe Mixon made the Hall of Fame. That's a little bit surprising. There's Donald Collins. Harvey Bridges still on the Jets. Tate Prawl is now on the Chicago Bears. Will Case Vehorn is still on the Steelers. See a lot of owners. Marcus Williams is a free agent. It looks like he was on all 3 Super Bowl teams as well as Leonard Worrell. Anyone else? Jacques Stanley is a free agent. It looks like he was only on the team for 2 Super Bowls. Anyone else? Rashad Pinkney is a free agent. He has been on all 3 Super Bowl teams. Okay. Othniel Simonton is on the Carolina Panthers. Spencer Bailey, of course, still with us. He is only 3,615 legacy points. He's better than that. Come on, guys. Anyone else? Bernard Clark, he wasn't on the team at the end of the series, but he was on the team during the series, so... Any other Chargers we see? Doesn't look like it. There was a guy named Booty who we passed. His last name was Booty. Alrighty, that pretty much does it. So now let's look at the free agency. Here's a look at the free agency. Alan Turner is the best player. I remember when the Vikings drafted him. Starting with quarterback, probably neither of our guys because I saw both of them were still on teams. Running back, no one I know. Fullback, no one I know. Wide receiver, of course we saw Rashad Pinkney. He's now an 80 overall. I'm going to sign him because I'm kind of curious what his stats are. There's Adrian Ziegler. We almost picked him over Spencer Bailey, but we didn't. I guess that worked out. Tight end, I know we still have our tight end Eric Vasquez. Left tackle, Daniel Presley, the very first player drafted in this series. He was picked by the Bears. Left guard, anyone? Quentin Swinney, he was on the team for a little bit. Center, doesn't look like we see anyone. Right guard, doesn't look like we see anyone. Right tackle, no one. Left end, no one. Defensive tackle, TJ Neal, he was on the team for like 1 year as a backup. Right end, Bernard Clark, who we traded in the TJ Watt deal. Derek Barnett, he is a free agent at 35 years old. He was on the team for the last year of the series. Left outside linebacker, no one. Middle linebacker, Leonard Worrell, we're going to sign him to see his stats. He still has superstar development. Dang. Right outside linebacker, no one. Cornerback, Jacques Stanley, is a free agent. We'll sign him to see his stats. Free safety, Marcus Williams, now at 78. We'll take a look at his stats. His development went down to normal. Strong safety, Coco Bostic. I remember him. I think the Steelers drafted him, I want to say. Kicker, I know we still have James Brandstater. And punter, I guess Drew Kaiser-Valazer must have retired. We are now going to be looking at career stats, starting with Rashad Pickney. He has over 11,000 yards as well as 81 touchdowns. We'll also look at him season by season. Of course, the first 3 years we had him, doesn't look like he was the same player once we left. And he actually did not have an 1,000-yard season after the end of the series, which is certainly surprising. On defense, Leonard Worrell had 1,564 tackles, 73 for a loss, 37 sacks, 35 interceptions, 24 fumble forces. Yeah, he's definitely gonna make it to the Hall of Fame. We'll look at his stats season by season. We had him for the first 4 years of his career, and the first season we simulated, he racked up 155 tackles. This past season, he racked up 174, as well as 2 interceptions, even though he's only like a 75. So Leonard Worrell has been very good in the sim. Derek Barnett has 885 tackles, 114 for a loss, and 129 sacks. He looks like he's been very good in the sim as well. We only had him for 2021. Yeah, it looks like he's been very good. Certainly regressing the past few years. Jacques Stanley has 829 tackles, 11 for a loss, only 1 sack, but 48 picks. He has been great for us. We had him the first 3 years of his career, and it looks like he was still very good, even when we were simulating, yeah. So we're also going to look at their legacy scores, and then maybe look for a couple other players, and then call it a day. Derek Barnett has a legacy score of 12,175. It looks like he has won 2 Super Bowls. Leonard Worrell's a legacy score of 11,916. He has won 3 Super Bowls, so it looks like he has spent the majority of his career as a Charger. Jacques Stanley has won 2 Super Bowls, and his legacy score is 6,692. And Pickney's is only at about 5,000, and it looks like he was there for all 3 Super Bowls. I tried to look for a couple of other players like Mike Williams, Tre'Davious White, Keanu Neal. I couldn't really find them, so I think that's going to end this episode, as well as this whole series. I'm definitely going to miss the Madden 18 Los Angeles Chargers franchise, but we're going to be starting a new franchise once Madden 19 comes out on August 7th, which is very soon. Probably, I don't know when I'm recording this, but Tuesday, August 7th, 2018. Currently, the Jets are beating the Dolphins in the vote, and it doesn't look good for the Bengals, so it's probably going to be either the Jets or the Dolphins, unless the Bengals make some crazy turnaround. So, for the final time in this series, I'm out. Peace.